Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about expectations for second year safety Percy Butler and talking about if he could be a contributor this year for the Commanders defense. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Also hit that like button and that notification bell as well. So the Washington Commanders drafted Percy Butler in the fourth round, of the 2022 NFL draft out of Louisiana. I believe he played at the same college that Brian Mitchell played at. He's 23 years old, about 6 foot, 191 pounds. And 2022 season, a little bit disappointing, but also, it was somewhat expected after Darrick Forrest really started to step up. Percy Butler really wasn't going to get much playing time, and that's what ended up happening. But we're going to talk about that. So he had 8 total tackles, and I'm pretty sure almost all of those were on special teams or in the Dallas Cowboys game in Week 18 where they were playing a lot of young guys, and he got some playing time, and he also had 2 tackles against the Eagles. But again, most of those were special teams tackles. I think he played well overall on special teams for the most part. There were some times where I thought he could have played a little bit better, in terms of tackling. I thought he missed some tackles. I think he had a few costly penalties as well. I think one in the Vikings game or something. I remember it was funny. Rashad Wildgoose was, yelling at him in the sideline when Rashad Wildgoose, I think, had 2 penalties on special teams in that game as well, which was just funny that he was yelling at Percy Butler for that. And, sometimes he wasn't able to down the ball. Someone who I thought played really well in special teams, who was a rookie 7th-round pick, I believe he was a 7th-round pick, Christian Holmes. I think he played at Oklahoma State, but he played really well in special teams. He, downed a lot of punts and made some nice tackles. I think he recovered a fumble or 2. I think Percy Butler might have recovered a fumble. Not completely sure, but I thought Christian Holmes was really good on special teams. Percy Butler was supposed to be a special teams, he was just supposed to be amazing on special teams, and he was solid, but he wasn't amazing. So we'll see if at the very least this year he can be a special team stud, and that would be good. It was a 4th-round pick, so it's not like you need a starter there, but you need at least something from a 4th-round pick. Obviously there's a lot of 4th-round picks that don't work out, but yeah, that's someone or something that he could do at the very least. And also, Percy Butler has had a really good offseason. So he had a pass at the goal line against Sam Howell where he intercepted it. Howell didn't run after him, and then Bieniemy got a little upset. Not upset, but just said, you threw it, you go get it. And then he, also had another, I guess this is the same one where he had a pick in the red zone, and Sam Fortier said Percy Butler had a strong spring, so another guy saying he's had a good spring, and then he had another interception off of Howell, and it was a really good read on the ball by Percy Butler. So, and those were 2 different dates. This is June 8th right here, and this is May 24th. So yeah, just overall he's had a really good camp, probably one of the top 5, top 10 performers in terms of what we expected and what they've done. And this could be a Darrick Forrest type season for Percy Butler. You remember Darrick Forrest, the Commanders drafted him, I think, around the same spot, 4th, 5th round out of Cincinnati. And, a lot of fans were kind of excited because the year before they drafted Cam Curl. It's funny, they went from Cam Curl to Darrick Forrest, then to Percy Butler, and then this year Quan Martin. So 4 safeties in a row in those 2, or I guess on day 2 and day 3 since 2020. But that's besides the point. But Darrick Forrest in his first year got injured, played the last few games of the season, or got in, some games, and once he got back from the injury a little bit, and the last game or 2 he played a lot and showed some flashes. And then in the offseason we were hearing really good things. Like I kept on saying, Darrick Forrest has had a really good offseason. Watch out, he could start. And then Cam Curl ends up getting hurt, and Darrick Forrest has a game-winning interception or game-sealing interception in the Jaguars win, and just playing really well overall. And, he continued that. And then once Cam Curl got back, they decided, well, you know what? We might as well play Darrick Forrest and Cam Curl at the same time. And, they played a package between him, McCain, and Curl. And then once, then they decided to just put McCain at slot and then had Darrick Forrest as Darrick Forrest and Cam Curl as a safety duo, and that they did really well together. But the thing is, I think when Cam Curl was out and Darrick Forrest was in, The last few weeks of the season, I think he definitely struggled without Cam Curl, so that's just something to monitor. But we could see a same kind of leap in year 2 that Derek Forrest had with Percy Butler. Percy Butler has a lot of good tools. Let's see, I'm trying to pull up the stats. So his RAS score, which is just an athleticism metric, his speed stuff is elite. 40-yard dash, 4.36, that is elite at the safety position. Faster than Quan Martin, Cam Curl, and Derek Forrest. 9.92. 20-yard split is is 9.96. 10-yard split is really, really good as well. The best you can get. That's the best they've probably ever had. And broad jump is good. Vertical jump is not so good. I mean, Quan Martin had like 12.5 inches on him, vertical leap wise. And then his weight, I guess, is not good for this metric, and height, which is what brings him down from that 10 to an 8.14. But that's still really, really good for his athleticism. So I think that Percy Butler, he's got all the tools. Chris Sims, who also really liked Quan Martin, and I made a video about him yesterday, so go ahead and check that out. But he said he was the best safety in the class, I believe, last year, talking about Percy Butler, and said the same thing about Quan Martin this year. So hey, Percy Butler's got talent. I think he was one of the most boomer bust guys they had last year in the draft. But this safety room is loaded, so I don't know how much how much PT he's gonna get, because obviously Cam Curl and Derek Forrest are over him in the depth chart, and then you also have Quan Martin, who might not be listed at safety. He'll probably start out as a corner, but he's going to be competing with Percy, because Quan Martin can probably play the big nickel or buffalo nickel, and Percy Butler will be competing for a spot as well. And then Quan Martin can also play free safety, which Percy Butler can as well. So, I mean, all these guys are very versatile. I mean, all these safeties can probably play both positions if needed, and some of them can play slot corners. So it's going to be interesting. I would probably have Percy Butler as his third safety right now if you don't include Quan Martin. If you include Quan Martin, it's really, fifth. I would probably still give the edge to Quan Martin, just because they did invest a second-round pick in him. If it was like a third-round pick or a fourth-round pick, maybe it's a little different. But a second-round pick, you need your second-round pick to start, or at least be a major contributor in the first year. And by the end of this year, you want him starting, or else he's probably not that guy. So I think they'll have him ahead of Percy Butler. But Percy Butler still could be a contributor. He's got to ball out on special teams, down as many punts as possible, make some big hits. Like, if he's making big hits and possibly even forcing some fumbles, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. And then if he can translate that to the field, if he does end up playing a little bit, he could, make some big hits. So he did have one fumble recovery, and that was against the Packers, Amari Rodgers. The punt return, I believe he did fumble the ball, and Percy Butler got it. That was a big win for the Commanders. I don't know if they win without that recovery, and whoever forced that was a good forced fumble. But yeah, Percy Butler, he's a boomer bust player, and they've got a lot of talent in that safety room. I mean, Cam Curl, we know he's good. Maybe he'll never get to elite level, but he's a good safety in this league. Derek Forrest, pretty talented, had a solid season last year, got the most picks on the team by a decent margin, or definitely the most picks by a safety. But he's got to play a little bit better at times. He's very inconsistent. And then, Quan Martin maybe won't even play safety. He might just play in the slot. And then you got Percy Butler, who definitely has that talent. So how many combined tackles did he have last year? He had 11 combined tackles, 8 solo, 2 assists. So that was the overall, that's what he had. And he played in 15 games. And he was a 4th-round pick, 113th overall. And he did have a pass breakup. And I think I saw a stat, was targeted 4 times, and they completed 3 passes on him. So this offseason is going to be huge for him. He's got to get that work in, continue to play well like he's done, and he's got to, continue that in training camp. I hope he gets a lot of playing time in the preseason. Honestly, I don't need to see Cam Curl play in the preseason. If you want to play him one possession, that's fine. I do not need, honestly, all the starters on defense, I don't need to see them play. Maybe some of them. I want to see Chase Young play. And he should play. I think he should play 1 or 2 games. But Montez Sweat, don't need to see him. If you want to play him a possession, sure, but at that point, why even playing him? But Montez Sweat, don't need to see him. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, do not need to see him. Kendall Fuller, do not need to see him. Benjamin St. Juste, don't want to see him. If maybe he'll get hurt. And we already know what he is at this point in this league. He doesn't need those reps. Like when you're entering year 3 and you've already played a decent, like you've already started 15 plus games in this league, or whatever Benjamin St. Juste has started, you don't need those extra reps. You really don't at that point. And if you do, then you're probably not that guy. So I don't think Benjamin St. Juste needs those reps. Derek Forrest, he might need a little bit, and it would be maybe good to see him and Percy Butler play together, but those guys don't need a ton of reps. The guys that need reps, Emmanuel Forbes, just got drafted. He needs reps. Quan Martin, Percy Butler, maybe Khalid Hudson needs some reps. And Jamin Davis, you can still play him a little bit. At this point, I don't think he needs a lot of reps, but he is coming off a procedure, so you want to make sure he's as comfortable as possible. Chase Young, of course, want to see him play some more. He only got a few games at the end of the season. Give him some more. So I don't want excuses for him. Like, he needs to be fully ready to go. So take that rust off as much as he needs before the start of the season. And, besides that, I'm trying to think of other guys that I want to see play. Danny Johnson, we do not need to see him play unless he's, working with the threes and, they need someone to go in. Don't need to see him play. And I'm trying to think of who else, like the D-line. I want to see Aaron Mathis, John Ridgway, KJ Henry, Andre Jones, all, first and second year guys. Want to see those guys for sure. Like, they should be getting a lot of the PT. And on, the third game is the preseason, you can play whoever you want. But I think someone like, and I kind of went on a tangent there, but I want to see Percy Butler a lot in the preseason. I think it'll, be good for him. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy my last video recording here in Oregon. We'll be flying out tomorrow, but you'll be seeing this on the day I'm flying out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.